Yo, still, Bills, what's the deal, man? I just dropped my daughter off at school and I'm heading to the plantation, man. Y'all know how the story go, man. So, peep game, y'all gotta get a vision of my forehead. Peep game, though, man. We got to rap about some shit, man. It's just the contradictory just continues to permeate through these social media platforms. And it's like, there's no shame in it, man. Like, god damn. There's no shame in it. There's no shame in it whatsoever, man. As I've stated before, do I think Andrade ducked Johnny Beck? Yeah, I do. But like I made a video about it saying it. It was a strategic duck. Him jumping up to fight Zach Parker puts him in immediate position for a Canelo Alvarez fight. It puts him in immediate position for a Canelo Alvarez fight so he can get ironed out and just go right off into the sunset and retire. That's what he's ultimately looking for. And I'm not mad at that, man. But I am and I'm not. I understand it. It irritates me, but I understand it, man. Honestly, we just gonna... Zach, and I've said this also as well. Zach Parker is not no dude that is just, yo, Andrade is just about to go in here and crash this dude. I don't think that's necessary. It's going to be that easy if he does it. I definitely do not. Because Zach Parker isn't necessary. He's not world level. He's not fighting at world level. He's a domestic UK fighter, which I don't, I think Felix Cash is a good UK domestic level fighter. I'm not saying that he can't be. I'm just saying up until this point, he hasn't been world level. And the fact that people keep saying that, man, he's fighting a tougher challenge in Zach Parker. They're just nitpicking at this time. He has a higher KO ratio. He has more fights and yada yada. I'm like, all right, bro. Johnny Beck has beat 2 former world champions in Rob Brandt and Endom. Now, granted, I don't think that they were the cream of the crop as well, but they have an accolade that a lot of these fighters have not had access to, which is a belt. That shit can't be ignored. And they keep harping on the fact that this dude only has 12 fights. When you have a successful amateur background, you get fast-tracked. Look, it's a reason why Lomachenko got fast-tracked. It's a reason for that. Their pedigree, their background. Usyk, another one. Their background. You have to take that shit into consideration, man. You can't just be, oh, man, he only got 12 fights. Yeah, he has 12 fights, but look at the motherfuckers who's not willing to fight him neither. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm not mad that he jumped up and fought and is looking to fight Zach Parker again. You dig? And I turned out to be wrong when I said he faked he pulled out of a fight beforehand. The thing was, to my knowledge, like, I don't be on these, like, a lot of my information comes from, YouTube channels and panelists like that. So I didn't remember hearing, I didn't hear about Zach Parker and Andre's fight being canceled until like a week or 2 out when the fight was supposed to happen. But allegedly it was canceled early May when that shit came down. So I turned out to be wrong on that, and I can admit that. But I wasn't mad at him for doing it. I was like, yo, man, like, dude, like, come on, man, like, god damn it. I understand it, you dig? But it's also like, you can unpack it even further and say, all right, because Zach Parker is more unknown to the common boxing public and he's not at world level, you can perceive that as an easier outing. You can perceive that as a oh man, I'd rather deal with him than deal with a Johnny Beck. Even though, me personally, I think you beating the likes of a Johnny Beck, you'd have a better argument to deal with the Canelo, because not to deal with him, but fighting, because he's a mandatory at this point in time, and not just any type of mandatory, but the mandatory. Everybody. We don't know what Johnny Beck is going to look like against the cream of the crop. We don't know. All we can see is the future. We can say, yo, this dude has a high ceiling, and he's looking like an imminent threat to the other middleweights in the division. That's what we can say about him. Well, we have yet to see that. And so I understand what people say, man, we don't know what he about. He a hype job. I definitely don't think he's a hype job. That word gets thrown around a little too much. And I keep hearing him say Euro. What the fuck? Yo, man, last time I checked, Kazakhstan was in Asia. Unless I'm tripping. Like, fuck out of here, bro. Like, you niggas are stupid. But I understood it. I definitely understood why he did that. But what bothers me is, what I want to say about, the contradictory thing, is when Canelo and Lomachenko, like I had a dude tell me yesterday, Lomachenko ducked Devin Haney when he fought Teofimo Lopez. And this motherfucker was really telling me that, yo, man, Devin Haney is a far better fighter than Teofimo Lopez. And I'm like, how? Oh, well, Teofimo Lopez lost to George Kambosos, and Devin Haney, he destroyed George Kambosos. I'm like, yo, that's dishonest. Is it true? Yeah. Yes, it's true. Y'all know I can't stand Teofimo Lopez. But it's true. He lost to George Kambosos, but that wasn't the same Teofimo Lopez that fought Lomachenko, Nakatani, or Richard Comey. That wasn't him. That wasn't him. The headhunting, that wasn't him. No game plan, no jab. That wasn't, no. You're being real dishonest if you're going to sit here and try to sell me on that Teofimo was the same Teofimo that just beat Lomachenko. Like, no. That makes no sense. And the fact, like, you can't sit here and tell me that what makes Devin Haney a better fighter than Teofimo Lopez? They have the same, not necessarily the same boxing style, but the attributes that makes an incredible fighter, they both possess. They both possess that. So you can't sit here and tell me that Teofimo Lopez isn't the fighter that Devin Haney is. Lomachenko doesn't have to worry about goddamn getting knocked out if he fights Devin Haney. Not as much as he does when he fought Teofimo Lopez. He doesn't have to worry about that as much. He doesn't. And why doesn't he? Because Devin Haney he's not an explosive puncher. That is what it is. And then, the next thing is the Canelo Alvarez thing. Like, y'all are talking about Canelo Alvarez. He moved up, like he ducked Andrade to move up to middleweight. Possibly, but look at who he fought at middleweight. Look who he fought. Andrade is not Golovkin. He's just not. Did Golovkin possibly see something in Andrade that he made was like, I don't know if I necessarily want to deal with this nigga right now? Yeah, it's a possibility. It's definitely a possibility. Or was it that you're not really a high commodity like that for me to just fight you, bro? Like what do I are they gonna pay me promptly to fight you? It could be that. It could be a culmination of both. I don't know, but nonetheless, he didn't fight him. But if they did fight, especially at that time, Andrade ain't beating Golovkin. And in the situation that he did, Andrade still is not what Golovkin was when Golovkin was in his prime. So Canelo can jump up to fight fucking Golovkin. Now, mind you, he fought Chavez Jr. before he fought Golovkin to really get acclimated into the division. How is that any different from what Andrade is doing when he's angling for a fight with Canelo? He doesn't just give automatic access to Canelo. He's like, all right, no, you gotta go through Zach Parker. We go through Zach Parker, and I think he still has another roadblock in his way if David Benavidez gets past Jose Ucaseti, which is another fight we gotta talk about. We gotta rap about that as well. Because they're just really, David Benavidez's career is just deteriorating over there on PBC Isolation Island, man. They just keep putting this dude in with past it fighters, dog, or people who don't belong in the division. Nonetheless, I digress. But he still would have, to my knowledge, I could be wrong, he still has to go through a David Benavidez in order to get a fight with Canelo. So that's two fights right there, right in front of him before he even gets a shot at Canelo. Canelo fought Chavez, then went wrong, fought Golovkin, and fought Danny Jacobs. Two damn good wins. Those were the best three in the division at the time. Those were the best three. So by your estimation, y'all estimation, Lomachenko ducked Devin Haney to go fight Teofimo Lopez. which is a more dangerous fight. Why is it a more dangerous fight? Because of the attributes that Teofimo Lopez brings to the fucking fight. His punching power. That's a far more dangerous fight for someone like Lomachenko, who technically, I don't want to say doesn't belong in the division, because I don't agree with that. I think he belongs at 135 pounds. He's meeting resistance up there, and he's finding a way to usurp that resistance. He belongs at 135 pounds. But Teofimo Lopez, that's Lomachenko's ceiling. We can fuck around and see Teofimo Lopez fight at 154 in his later years. Possibly. So what I'm saying is this, bro, like, it's just ridiculous trying to listening to these niggas look for reasons as to what to justify what Demetrius Andrade did, instead of just saying, yeah, it was a duck, but it was a strategic duck. It's understandable. It's understandable. But when they sit here and say, oh man, he ain't running away, why does he need to run away from a Johnny Beck? You tell me. You tell me. You can't see, there's no way of getting around. All right, cool, yeah, he moved up to 168 to fight Zach Parker. That fight gets canceled. Why are you jumping back down to angle for a fight with Chris Eubank Jr.? That's very alarming. That's very alarming. You couldn't get no fight with Jaime Munguia. All right, cool, we get that. You know, Jaime Munguia is a higher profile fighter. Understandable, but when it was all these, when you was trying to mow down all mandatories, all that energy ceased when Johnny Beck became your mandatory. It ceased. You dig? It ceased. You had no intentions on moving to 168 pounds and fighting David Benavidez. When asked, does David Benavidez have a belt? Well, all right then. You had no intentions on doing that. When Johnny Beck becomes your mandatory, all right, cool, now we moving up. Because if you ain't gonna fight no David Benavidez who doesn't have a belt, what the fuck are you fighting Zach Parker for? Zach Parker ain't got nothing to offer you at this point in time. Nothing more than a David Benavidez would. So it's just the energy, man. Like, nobody wants to hold their fighters accountable, because they feel if you hold them accountable, you're denigrating them and you're doing something opposite of what a supporter is supposed to do. And that is just the most ridiculous shit I ever. Canelo was one of my favorite fighters. I want him to fight Andrade and Charlo and Benavidez. I said it. I didn't want him to jump up to 175 pounds to fight Bivol. I didn't think he was going to beat Bivol. And look what happened. Go deal with them and then move up into that division. You know, he was real, you know, he was kind of like, yo, I'm gonna ride, this is my time, I'm here, I'm on that. You just completely looking past Bivol, talking about Mchunu at cruiserweight, bro. Like, yo, like, my nigga, like, no. But how you fight? Nah, bro. You can't break these bigger dudes. Not that easily. So it's annoying, man. It's like, yo, bro, you niggas really can't just call a spade a spade. It's doing something to you neurologically to say Andrade is strategically ducking Johnny Beck. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it, man. Just, it is what it is. It is what it is. Andrade's a good fighter, man, but I think he deserves a bigger fight. He's been avoided. He's definitely been avoided, man. But and what's even crazy, I don't even see niggas clapping at Charlo for not fighting Andrade. I'm looking at these niggas like, bro, you really not gonna so Charlo gets a pass for not fighting Andrade. Charlo gets a pass for saying, oh, bro, don't nobody care about no Demetrius Andrade. He gets a pass for that. He gets a pass for, you know, turning down the zone offer for 7 M's to not fight Andrade. He gets a pass for all of this shit. But Canelo tells him, you don't fight with nobody, you're a horrible fighter, and yada, yada, yada. And y'all clapping at him. Y'all are vilifying him. I just think that shit is just it's goofy, man. Like, y'all dudes just ain't got no shame. It's no shit. Just shameless with you niggas. Y'all don't even try to. Y'all don't try to hide it and cover it up or nothing. It's just Andrade continues to get a pass for doing this shit. Like, come on, man. It's just, you could be. I said you could look at the Lomachenko and Devin Haney situation as a duck as well. You can look at it like that. I'm not mad at that. It's understandable when you forfeit a belt to get around a fight, despite the fact that I want this is an easier fight to make with Teofimo Lopez. In-house fight, a bigger threat. He'd get a lot more credit for beating someone like Teofimo Lopez than a Devin Haney because of who Teofimo's been in there with. I'm gonna take that route. Devin Haney, you can have that belt. I'll come and get it from you later. Y'all don't even try to, like, yo, like, for real? I can do that and not feel no type of way about it. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. I don't understand. I'm not business savvy, you know what I'm saying? So maybe they're doing it from a business perspective, and as that translates to me, like, oh yeah, he don't want no drama. Cause I'll just speak on what it is that transpires in the ring. The tangible shit that I can see. I'm not counting niggas' pockets and all that. I'm not doing that. I'm not here for that. I ain't never been here for that. But I can do that shit and not feel no type of way about it. And I'm gonna need you niggas to do the same. You ain't gotta vilify Demetrius Andrade. You can just hold him accountable. That's it. You can say, bro, it's a bad look. It's a strategic duck for you to jump up, but it's understandable because of the position it puts you in. But you gotta explain why you would come back down to 160 pounds to beg for a fight with Chris Eubank Jr. when that man was already tied up in Conor Benn negotiations. You know that. You think your name is buzzing more than a Conor Benn? I do not think so. The rivalry brewing between them dude that's been passed down from their daddies, you can't compete with that. You're not gonna be able to get that man the money that man is trying to look for, and he just don't want to fight nobody that's his size with a pulse. That man was on a mission to fight a welterweight, and he got his wish. So it is what it is, and I hope Conor Benn crashed that nigga too. But you can say that, my nigga, that looks goofy. That looks goofy. Johnny Beck is in your face. He's a mandatory. You jumped up. All right, cool. It's understandable. That puts you in the immediate scope of Canelo Alvarez. But why are you jumping back down? Why not look for another fight at 168 pounds? Can't jump back down and fight fucking Chris Eubank Jr., who has obligations right now, and not expect to be vilified for it. Or at least ask some questions, because those questions are, you're within your marriage. It's proper merit to ask, bro. What the fuck? But nobody wants to do that. They want it. It hurts them to say that to the point where the minute they see an outing, all right, cool, we going back. So now they'll formulate these talking points to justify the move. They'll talk about how Zach Parker is a better fighter with a higher KO percent. Like, you niggas are a trip. Y'all are a trip. Johnny Beck at this point is fighting at world level. He's not fighting domestic level competition. He's fighting at world level. Zach Parker isn't. He's not, bro. And how is that going to look if he goes out there and loses to Zach Parker? Because y'all just have this mentality that he's about to go in here and beat Zach Parker and get a fight with Canelo Alvarez, and that isn't necessarily the case. That's not the case. I think it's a dope move. I'm not mad at it. It's courageous because even though he's not at world level, he's at least acclimated to the division. He's the bigger man in there. He has knockouts in that division. That shit matters. So it's understandable. It's definitely understandable, man. But you got the game fucked up if you about to sit here and tell me it's a better opponent. Because what I saw from Zach Parker, he doesn't bring the same dimensions and wrinkles to his game that a Johnny Beck has. He doesn't. It could be a better it could be a better opponent. It could be. Only time will tell from the both of them. We don't know what all we can see. We can project that Johnny Beck is going to be a face in the sport. We can project that, but we don't know. We have to see what time tells us. We got to wait and see. But at the moment, Johnny Beck has the proper style to deal with the likes of a Demetrius Andrade. That's not saying that he will. That's saying that his style would give Demetrius Andrade fits. That's all that's saying. That's literally it. And nobody wants to be honest about the situation, and that's what's bothering me. It's a cardinal sin to sit here and hold Demetrius Andrade accountable for the shit that he's doing. It's a cardinal sin. And that is, oh my God, that's like, I can't listen to you Negroes, man. I can't do it. Because that's usually who it is. It's these Negroes. Oh, Demetrius Andrade. All right, bro. Okay. Arguing with some dude online, and this dude is blatantly saying, yeah, this is a duck, this is a duck, this is a duck, this is a duck. And then he does a slight study of Zach Parker. Oh, he ain't a duck. He has a higher KO percentage. This is a trip, bro. Like, I just can't deal with you dudes. I can't deal with you dudes. Oh my God, man. Look, I'm not mad for the last time. I'm not mad at Andre for doing this. I did want to see him against Johnny Beck because I think Johnny Beck is the more valuable fighter. I think the style clash would have been it could have been ugly in there for Andre if he went in there and he fought Johnny Beck. That's why we wanted the fight so bad. It was a legitimate mandatory that was going to offer resistance, possibly in our eyes. We thought it would have offered him resistance, and we wanted to see how he did against that resistance. So I'm a little aggy about it, but I understand why he would jump up. I get it. What I don't understand is why you would jump back down after the fight got called off. That's what you got to look at and be honest about, man. But other than that, it is what it is, man. I'm going to work. I get with y'all later, man. Deuces.